Welcome back to the Web3 Daily. Today's market opened with a bit of heat. Bitcoin made a push up to 122, just a half a step from its all-time high, with bulls and bears eyeing each other, fingers hovering over the close button. Ethereum held even firmer, sitting solidly at the 4.3k mark, with ETF inflows still pouring in. BlackRock's spot ETF pulled in over 600 million yesterday, the kind of size that directly warms sentiment. Among the hot movers, Solana surged past 170, tanked up on the Coinbase Ventures news, while meme coin hype faded. PEPE fell about 7%, and the Dogecoin slipped too. Overall, the mood stays bullish, but the all-out everyone piling in energy from last week has cooled a bit. Capital is now picking targets instead of spraying everywhere. The 10k Ethereum narrative has been pushed to the center of discussion by a mix of voices. First, Aaron Bennett said in an interview that this round's structure feels more solid than previous cycles, with lower volatility risk, and under these conditions, 10 could come quickly. His logic ties the technical setup to the low-risk state and jumps straight to a psychological milestone. Ted Pillows lit the match with a sharper take. Ethereum is a 10k coin selling at 3.5k, dropped on social media. That line isn't about debating logic, it's about cranking up the urgency, giving you that miss it and the regret forever pressure. Technical voice, X-Force, Global, mapped out a 9k, 10k mid to long-term target using Elliott waves. His tone was more measured but still added a caveat, no strong macro catalyst yet. So this is more of a technical roadmap. Miles Deutscher put a data quote on it, saying his AI model gives ETH an 18% chance of hitting 10k. Sounds more rational, but it's another form of flag planting. Put together, it's like sitting at a table with four very different friends, one pulling you to all in, one painting the horizon, one sliding you the chart to think for yourself, and one giving you a probability nudge. The result is sentiment gets a jolt, bulls press harder, shorts pull back, and the market's mood gets a shove. But behind the heat lies the flip risk. If ETH doesn't break key zone soon, that optimism can turn into a rush for the exits. What will really decide if we see 5 figures isn't tweet likes. It's whether ETF inflows can stay strong for weeks, and whether yields and the dollar index flip. If those line up, the calls aren't just noise. If they don't, the market will show just how far reality can be from the hype. The first news is about Western Union acquiring Ripple partner Intermex. It's a $500 million all-cash deal, expected to close by mid-2026. Intermex is one of Ripple's on-demand liquidity ODL. Partners ODL uses XRP as a bridge currency for cross-border payments, enabling near-instant settlement and lower costs by buying Intermex. Western Union is basically getting a ready-made blockchain cross-border settlement channel. Intermex focuses on North America and Latin America, especially the US-Mexico remittance corridor, handling 6 million transactions a year and running a massive agent network. Pair that rich with Ripple's tech, and it's a fast track for Western Union to move from traditional rails to blockchain-based payments. Western Union has long been cautious on blockchain remittances, so directly buying a Ripple partner signals a real shift toward embracing crypto payments. Market read: this acquisition could significantly boost Western Union's speed and cost efficiency in cross-border settlements while solidifying its dominance in Latin America. For Ripple and XRP, it's a clear positive when a traditional finance giant integrates your tech into its core business to move actual money. It's going to increase real-world usage of XRP in cross-border payments. Second news is Coinbase Ventures joins TON, and this could be a real accelerator for the entire Telegram-linked ecosystem. 10 Foundation announced that Coinbase's venture arm is now a Toncoin holder. They didn't disclose the amount, but this comes after Sequoia, Benchmark, and Ribbit Capital all directly bought Toncoin. 10's backstory is well known. It started with the Telegram team, later handed off to the community to launch the mainnet, and has been embedding on-chain apps into Telegram's billion user base. Decentralized wallets, mini-games, bot services, etc. In recent months, 10 rolled out domain services and decentralized storage, with both activity and user numbers rising. Coinbase Ventures joining means TON now has not just the traffic gateway, but also a potential path into the US market and regulatory positioning. Market Red has 2 key points. First, Coinbase is holding the token rather than taking equity, which aligns incentives directly with the token price. If the project grows, the institution's returns show up immediately. Second, Coinbase's brand gives TON more credibility to attract exchanges and developers, especially in North America, speeding adoption much faster than before. After the announcement, TON spiked to around 3.4 before easing back, but community sentiment was clearly fired up. Third news is White House crypto advisor Bo Hines stepping down, marking a small pivot in U.S. digital asset policy. Bo Hines, appointed in January by President Trump as the first executive director of the Presidential Digital Asset Advisory Council, spent just 8 months in the role but was instrumental in advancing key policies like the Genius Act, the first federal stablecoin regulation law in the U.S., defining issuance licensing and reserve requirements, and helping coordinate new rulemaking for security tokens and exchanges. His departure officially to return to the private sector and mount another congressional run also means the White House crypto policy team is getting a new lead. Deputy Patrick Waite is expected to take over, and he has been deeply involved in policy work, so the overall direction isn't likely to shift much. President Trump remains openly pro-crypto, even hosting the first ever White House Crypto Summit last week, and pledging a friendlier regulatory environment. Market reaction was calm. Bitcoin and Ethereum both held steady to slightly higher on the news. Analysts say that's because much of Bo Hines' policy framework is already in execution, so a personnel change won't immediately slow things down. Still, some worry the new lead may not push as aggressively, especially in urging the SEC to ease up on digital asset oversight. Overall, the move is more about political positioning than market impact, but it's a reminder that US crypto policy is still shaped by political cycles and personnel shifts. Fourth news is Ethereum ETF sees record single-day inflow with institutional buying power on full display. On August 11, US Eastern Time, BlackRock Spot Ethereum ETF, iShares Ethereum Trust ETA, took in 168 ETH in a single day, worth about $641 million at the time, its largest daily inflow since launch. On the same day, all US spot ETFs combined saw over $1 billion in net inflows, with Fidelity and other asset managers also posting strong numbers. The backdrop: earlier this month, President Trump signed an executive order allowing 401k retirement savings